From CRI Simple Numbers, this is Profitability Playbook, the Simple Numbers podcast, a podcast for those championing market growth and anchoring the nation's economy, small businesses and entrepreneurs.
Hey there, welcome to another episode of the Simple Numbers Profitability Playbook podcast. I'm Mike Maxon, that's Brandon Gray, and we are back with another episode and another guest.
You know, Mike, we had probably 6 or 7 episodes without a guest. And, you know, folks get tired of hearing just from us. So
it's hard to believe that, though.
It's hard for you to believe that, and all our listeners understand why. But, yeah, we've been stepping up our game a little bit. So this is going to be a big one. We got a heavy hitter on here. So Aaron Keith, founder of Buildify Systems. Man, I could spend 20 minutes talking about what Aaron does and the level of entrepreneurs that he works with, but we really just want to tap into his mind instead.
Let's do it.
But I'll tell you this, over 10,000 entrepreneurs, celebrities, I mean, companies with revenues that exceed $1 billion. I mean, he's legit. So folks, whatever you're doing right now, stop and take notes, because you're about to receive a masterclass in how to be an entrepreneur. So, Aaron,
no pressure,
guys.
Dude. Thanks, Brandon.
But hey, here's the deal. Aaron works with some of our clients, and I see it firsthand. And so there is no pressure because he just delivers. So, you know, if you're looking at, I need to take my game to the next level, pair up with somebody who's been there before. Pair up with someone who has the experiences dealing with companies that are where you want to be. And so Aaron's a go-to for that. So we're just going to, we're going to hit the ground running.
Let's
here.
do it.
Aaron will tell you here in a little bit how you can get in touch with him with questions and what have you. But what I really like about what Aaron does is it's not just about systems and processes. Now, don't get me wrong. Those are extremely important. You got to have them. But there's 2 things that really stand out with our clients as they work with Aaron. The first is that they're proactive versus reactive. They're not sitting around waiting for something to catch on fire, then run around and try to put it out. And unfortunately, Mike can attest to this. We see a lot of entrepreneurs that just spend all day putting out fires. And when you're doing that, you're not building structure. So, you know, they're proactive versus reactive. And the other side is kind of the mental side of it. And there's not a lot of folks that talk about that in terms of everything from kind of, you know, what your ceiling is right now, your skill set, what you've learned, your capacity, being able to think differently and what have you. And so those are just 2 of the things. So Aaron, kind of cover, if you will, those 2 things, being proactive versus reactive, as well as kind of the mental side of being an entrepreneur.
Absolutely. There's a lot to unpack here. So we're going to take a really thick distinction, right? We'll distill this down in a really short period of time. So here's the quick version. You can be a proactive company, meaning you are out ahead of your company. You have systems, you have processes, you have models that are keeping you out ahead of things. Or you can be a company that's real time. You're dealing with stuff real time all the time. Or you can be a company that's reactive. Obviously, reactive is not what we want to be. Real time is better. Predictive is ideal. When you have a predictive company, you're more profitable, you're more efficient, you're more effective. And so we want systems, structures, processes, and the mental wherewithal to understand that is how we want to be approaching and leading our company from. One of the primary systems that allows us as CEOs to be predictive is capacity models. So I'd say a lot of entrepreneurs know somewhat about capacity models, depending on how big you are. The bigger you are, the more you have to understand capacity models, right? You can have a capacity model for a company. You can have a capacity model for a department of your company. You can have a capacity model for one of your teams. Building these capacity models allows you to be predictive. It shows you revenue. It predicts staffing. It predicts when systems, structures, or processes are going to bend or break. So getting that capacity model in place and training your team, putting things around your team, so not just you as the CEO are predictive, but your whole team, your whole company is running as a more predictive model.
So let's dig a little bit deeper into that capacity system. So you kind of break it down in terms of, hey, what's the capacity of our sales and marketing engine? What's the capacity of our operations team? What's the capacity of our leadership team?
Absolutely. Capacity models, right, is talked about in business often. And so capacity in my world has three levels. There's physical capacity, like a capacity model, right? Physical capacity is going to be like your warehouse, your building, your infrastructure. There's mental capacity, which is knowledge and information. Then there's emotional capacity, your feelings, your emotions, how your maturity under pressure, if you will. As a CEO, when you're growing and scaling a company, one of the very first places you have to build structure around is the CEO, right? The CEO is the ceiling of the company. The company can't outgrow its CEO. That's not ideal. You have all kinds of breakdowns, right? So when I'm looking at CEOs that are growing fast and scaling fast, I have to make sure that they have structure around themselves. Do they have the infrastructure to make sure that they're growing? They're staying out ahead of their business. That's why you guys come in. Finance, right, is one of the biggest areas in a scaling company that most of us, I wasn't trained. My parents didn't teach me. I had to hire a finance coach to even learn, and I'm reading your books. So having structures like yourselves, like consultants that are teaching the CEO how to get out ahead, how to grow that knowledge to be the CEO that they need to be, not who they are today.
Gotcha. So we got, it sounds like one of the first things an entrepreneur has to determine is the capacity levels and then start building the modeling around that.
Yeah.
As far as that part goes, what's kind of the next step? Where do you take it? Okay, I got these capacity models. Now what?
Now what I would do is I would do an audit of your company. I would go department by department, management, operations, finance, marketing, sales, production, quality assurance, those 7 primary departments of your company. I'm going to start asking myself, like, all right, what systems and structures and processes do we need to have in place? So not only myself, but the people running these departments can really be predictive, can really be out ahead of their company. Dashboards, right? I think dashboards are one of my favorite tools. I don't see enough CEOs have the totality of dashboards. They may have a dashboard around finance because, most of us are very focused there, but having dashboards around production, marketing, sales, all your primary areas, I think that is an important one. Planning and offsites. I don't see enough CEOs, especially when they're scaling. I don't know if you've all been, we've all, I think, been in the trenches when a company is growing fast. You're bombarded. You have things coming at you left, right, and center. Having that structure where your executive team, yourself, have monthly and quarterly offsites where you can leave the office, get away from the emails, put the phone away, lock yourself in a room, and really work on your systems, your structures, and your processes. Really look at your capacity models. Really look at your dashboards. Look at your financial numbers. Look at your team structures. All that work is critical. And if you're being a very proactive company, a predictive company, you have that time set aside in your calendar. If the time's not barricaded, let's be honest. Life is going to pummel you. You're going to have excuses and reasons, right? We all love our excuses and reasons. Oh, we're really busy. We skipped our quarterly offsite this month. Nope, doesn't work.
Guilty.
Yeah,
we all are.
Yeah,
We've
been
done
there.
it. Yeah. So here's one that a lot of entrepreneurs they have the want to, but they feel like their hands are kind of tied because it's like they haven't built the business to the point either through systems or through the level of their surrounding team members to where it's like, okay, I can look at my capacity, I can put the systems in place, but they kind of start to hit a roadblock there in terms of being able to get everyone else to buy into it, to follow it, to be proactive. So kind of what are your tips or advice for entrepreneurs that find themselves in that position?
It comes down to leadership. I'm going to be real blunt and real straight about this. It's the CEO's job to inspire, to build context around why these systems are non-negotiable. Because if the CEO has it as non-negotiable, the whole team will have it as non-negotiable, right? Everyone feeds off the CEO's behavior. If you're the tip of the arrow, everything follows you, right? And so that CEO's belief structure around how important, how critical these systems are, have everything to do with how well your team follows suit. Structure matters, right? Structure matters. I want to go to the gym is one thing. My gym is in my calendar and I have a reminder is another. So a lot of this stuff also comes down to calendar blocking and time management. Are these systems theoretical, or are these systems actually baked into physical time and space?
Entrepreneurs are busy, right, Mike?
Oh man, don't get me started. Aaron, I have a busy problem. We're not going to go into it today. We'll rather hear Aaron talk.
So is this kind of where you guys, especially as coaches that have dealt with high performing companies and entrepreneurs, can kind of really add some value? Because, you know, entrepreneurs, it's a good thing and a bad thing. You don't really answer to anybody, you know?
You don't.
If you don't put it on your calendar, who's going to tell you didn't put it on your calendar?
Right.
So kind of speak a little bit about the accountability part that you guys are able to provide.
Man, I've been an entrepreneur since I was 12. I started my first company at 19. I hired my business coach at 21. So I'm 48 years old. I've had a business coach every single Monday since I was 21 years old.
Wow.
So I drink my Kool-Aid, right? I've had a business coach, a life coach, a finance coach. I believe if you're going to be successful in life, hire a coach. I do martial arts. I have a martial arts teacher, right? I do golf. I have a golf coach. I am not cocky enough to think that I know everything, and nor do I want to go through life doing trial and error and wasting time, energy, and effort. Why not hire someone who can tell me the answer? Right? I struggled for years. Yeah, I struggled for years building my companies. I built 4 of my own. And the more money I made, the more broke I was, until I hired a finance coach. I got so tired of it. And this is why I send so many clients to you all. No one teaches us a lot of these skills as entrepreneurs. It's a learned profession, right? Why not hire consultants and coaches that know the answer, that can get you to that next level?
You get the test first and then find out about the study material. So,
you do.
To your
well
point,
said.
why not hire the people who have all the study material?
Absolutely.
Take the test.
Yeah.
Exactly. So kind of talk a little bit we're bouncing around a little bit here, obviously.
Please, yeah.
Just kind of the flow of the Profitability Playbook podcast. Operationally, let's kind of talk about those kind of things, kind of the job description checklist, what they need to do, when they need to do it, how everybody should do it, because we see this as a big gap, especially in entrepreneurial companies. Everybody's wearing multiple hats.
Right.
And it's kind of like who's on first, who's doing what. Kind of give us some thoughts on
this is one. So I can geek out on this, man. This is one of my favorite topics. So you may have to reel me in. When I look at a company that's growing quickly, including my own, I have a medical clinic that I'm the CEO of right now. It's growing fast. I'm dealing with this real time for myself. Anytime a business is growing, you have to look at something that I call the quad, your operational quad. There's 4 primary systems that must exist for every employee, including the CEO of an organization. Your job description checklist. Your job description checklist tells them what to do. Their calendar tells them when to do it. Their manual, right, the SOP manual for that department should tell them how to do it. And their KPIs, their job description KPIs, and measure how well they actually did it. If that quad or any aspect of that quad is not in place, you will eventually experience a breakdown in that person, in that team, or in that department. And one of the things I notice is a lot of entrepreneurs, when I assess their company first and foremost, like, oh yeah, we have job descriptions, calendars in place, we got a manual. I go in and look at the date on that manual. It was updated in 1997. You're like, oh, okay, now I understand why there's 3 people doing the same job 3 different ways. How's that person measured? Oh, we have KPIs, sort of. This is where the offsite matters. If your team isn't going offsite once a quarter, updating those manuals, updating those job descriptions, actually running a capacity model to see if Johnny and Susie's job has changed, and great. Did you ever update their job descriptions, their checklist? Does the staff know how to win in their roles? All of these things are going to cause fractures.
Yeah, I'll give you a real life example here in working with Aaron and one of his clients in particular. And so, he mentioned KPIs. So obviously, everybody's listening to the podcast. You're fans of simple numbers, or you're at least curious about it. We're going to have financial KPIs.
Yes.
Whether that's margin, dollars, margin percentage, direct LER, management LER, core capital, trade capital, the stuff we talk about all the time on here. And so we're working with this client. The KPIs are not where they need to be, particularly direct labor efficiency was way off. And, we set the target of what that KPI needed to be at. And the client was, you talk about on a mission. So we identified, okay, what do we have to change? Meaning, what do we have to go and sell? Or what do we have to reduce our labor by to hit that KPI? And the result, and they worked with Aaron extensively on this because this is kind of where the airplane somewhat hits a mountain. They had to make substantial changes to the team. We're talking a double-digit percentage of the team that we had to help find other places to go.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what happened to all those job descriptions? What happens to your KPIs now? So whenever, when it's a blue sky, sunshiny day and everything's great is one thing. Whenever you're in the trenches fighting for the life of your company and all this hits the fan, you better have a system and a process in place. And you better have someone who's kind of in your corner and can kind of coach you and walk you through making that happen. Because if not, it's just complete chaos.
Yeah. And I think quarterly audits are ideal. So any entrepreneur, any CEO or business owner listening to this, once a quarter, you should have a standing reoccurring reminder in your calendar where whether it's yourself, whether it's your head of operations, however big your team is, all your department heads, and you might be the department head for all your departments, but you're a solopreneur, you might be running a $100 million company. But once a quarter, everyone has to stop and actually look at the capacity model for the department or the company, look at the job descriptions, make sure the checklists are up to date and accurate, the calendar is up to date and accurate, the KPIs are up to date and accurate, and obviously the manual needs to be staying up to date and accurate. That check and balance, though it may seem daunting or not so sexy or fun, that is the foundation that you're standing on to go to the next level. You have a mushy foundation, have fun. That's going to have some bumps in it.
Yep. One of those KPIs, this is why we get along so well with Aaron as we're working with clients together, is actually planning for profit. It's pretty,
Yes.
This is the profitability playbook, right? Profit is important. So Aaron, kind of speak a little bit about as you work with clients and kind of that component of, it's great to have systems, processes, dashboards. Yes, but you got to have profit.
Got to have profit. You got to have reserves. Without reserves, you can't play the game.
Nope.
You won't be in the game long enough to even have profit. So I think that this is why I love this company. And my book is almost done being written, and I wrote you into my book. So Simple
nice.
Numbers is literally a section of my book because I believe in what you all do so much. My finance coach who trained me is very aligned with how you all coach. And so it's really become a very similar methodology. I'm not a finance coach, so I refer to the experts, which is you all, but I can help get a lot of that foundation in place. When companies don't have profit, your whole model is off, right? So here's the simplest way I'm used to explaining it in a very basic level. When the company builds its budget and it needs to build in its profit, its reserves, its taxes, blah, 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 so many companies don't do it right. So their business budget is technically wrong. Well, now sales comes in and sales builds its sales forecast and sales goals based on its budget. Well, the budget's wrong. Now the sales goal's wrong. And then the sales goal's wrong, which then affects marketing and the lead generation. It's a cascade of issues. So really learning how to build in profit. So you're building the company correctly from day one. Learning all those KPIs you mentioned is clutch for business owners. And I think the other thing that I love to kind of add on to this conversation is it's not just that you need profit, you need reserves, you need to manage for taxes. Most human beings, we don't have a great relationship to money. Our parents, school, who taught us our belief systems or our mental game around money. Bank account architecture, I think, is a very simple but yet very profound and powerful structure. Break apart your money into bank accounts. Just like a house, you relate to your bedroom differently than you relate to your kitchen, differently than you relate to your garage. We need different bank accounts so the human brain can separate its money and actually relate to it. No one, unless you're an absolute savant, if you have $500,000 sitting in an account, I don't know how much of that's for reserves. I don't know how much of that's for taxes. I don't know how much of that is for payroll reserves. Neither do you. You just have $500,000 that kind of makes you feel okay. By actually breaking that out, you can make true strategic decisions. And that's where you guys come in.
Love it. Let's shift gears here a little bit. So we want to tap into your mind because you work with high performers. You work with companies that are going through a lot of change. You're on kind of the cutting edge of what's taking place in the entrepreneurial economy. So what are your thoughts on it? I mean, kind of what are the top challenges you're seeing right now that entrepreneurs are having to deal with?
The top challenges that entrepreneurs are facing, man, I'd say it's the AI race. The technology is rapidly evolving. I think CEOs right now are trying to figure out, how does AI fit into things? They're trying to figure out, can we afford it? What's it going to do to our industry? What's it going to do to our actual company that we have? What's it going to do to our staffing configurations? I think right now it's a huge learning curve. And I think the lack of information, because it's evolving so quickly, has some low grade stress and low grade fear to a lot of entrepreneurs because they just don't know. And it's so hard to learn. And then it evolved the very next second. I think that's one of the big challenges people are facing right now.
No doubt. Yeah. And we've talked a little bit on the podcast about that before, but it seems to be one of the ceiling to AI is not AI. It's the ability to implement it. And, the bottleneck right now is entrepreneurs are out here just in the weeds trying to make it happen. And there's not really a lot of structured go-to proven companies or experts you can turn to kind of come in and go, all right, guys, I want you to take care of all my AI for me.
Right.
They don't exist yet. So we're pretty new into that.
There's also something I'm noticing too, especially for my smaller or medium-sized companies. They're putting AI in place and they're playing with it, right? So they hear me say, oh, capacity model, right? So they go into AI and they type in capacity model and they're building things that look great on paper, but they don't actually understand what that system is, how that system's supposed to function, and how to utilize it in their organization. So part of what I'm noticing with AI is it's helpful to make things or to build things. But if no one's trained you what it is and how to use it, there's still an information gap. You just have a really shiny system that's going to start collecting dust.
Yep. Or a system that just creates more work for you.
Correct. So I think that's part of the other side of that coin is AI can do so much for us. It's evolving so quickly, but there's still the human component of you have to still know how to use the tool.
Right. No doubt. Good stuff, Aaron. Couple quick things. So we've mentioned this the last couple of podcasts, but Aaron talked about systems, processes, KPIs, capacity, those kind of things. Our Know to Grow webinar is going to be on August 18th. And guess what? We're going to talk about a few of those things. And so, hey, if nothing else, it'll give you a little bit of a start. So you're ready whenever you call Aaron to come in and kind of go through everything. To sign up for that webinar, you need to go to the Simple Numbers LinkedIn page. You'll see it out there. It's got the link to where you can sign up for it. Mike and I will be doing it, and we're going to have a special giveaway with it. That's kind of cool that we created as well. Also, don't forget about the Simple Numbers Summit, November 9th through 11th in Austin, Texas. Podcast 26 is the discount code. So we want to make sure we have as many of our podcast listeners there because there's going to be great content, great speakers, and great people there. So go ahead and put that down and book it. So, Aaron, any last words here? We're about to wrap it up, but I mean, any advice that you would give to folks that are listening today that are, they're busy, their schedule seems to be full, and there's a lot of activity, but not a lot of accomplishment.
Yeah, I think my parting words on that would be busy's an excuse. You have to work on your company. That is literally your job description as a CEO. So busy is just an excuse. Get an advisor, get a team around you who's supporting you in being the best CEO and entrepreneur you can so that you're out ahead of that company. That's going to help guarantee a higher level of success.
Man, that's one of the best one-liners we've had on the podcast. That might have to go up on a wall in our office.
Love it.
Aaron, how can folks learn more about you, get in touch with you?
Listen, if you want to chat, I'm pretty easy going. Find me at Aaron@buildifysystems.com. We are rebranding soon, so that's eventually going to change. But Aaron@Buildify Systems. Give me a chat. Happy to hang out on the phone with you for about an hour or so and really learn about your business, what you're up to. I don't charge for it. I'm here to be of service, want to make a difference. So if you want that, reach out.
Great. And like I said, we work together with Aaron on several different clients, and I've seen it firsthand. He's legit. So just call him, just email him, set it up, put it on the calendar, and start working together, because busy is just an excuse.
Yes, it's going on the wall right behind me up on there.
No doubt,
Maybe it'll calm
no
me
doubt.
down.
Love it.
Well, thank you, Aaron. This has been great. And this, I think you guys have probably picked up on just a handful of things that you can already start putting in place as an entrepreneur. So thanks again for coming and joining us on the podcast.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me, guys.
Awesome. Well, for Aaron and Brandon, I'm Mike, and we'll catch you next time.
If you want to know more about driving sustainable profitability for your business or are interested in learning more about CRI Simple Numbers, please visit our website at simplenumberscri.com. Thanks for listening to this episode of Profitability Playbook, the Simple Numbers Podcast. You can subscribe to Profitability Playbook on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you prefer to listen to podcasts. If you like what you heard today, please leave us a review. This podcast is brought to you by CRI Simple Numbers LLC, a division of CRI Capital Group LLC, and a subsidiary of CRI Advisors LLC. CRI is the trusted brand under which Carr, Riggs & Ingram LLC, the CPA firm, and CRI Advisors LLC, along with its subsidiaries, deliver professional services. Please note, Carr, Riggs & Ingram LLC is a licensed independent CPA firm offering attest services, whereas CRI Advisors LLC and its subsidiaries specialize in providing tax and business consulting services. These entities operate within an alternative practice structure as defined by the AICPA Code of Professional Conduct and comply fully with applicable laws, regulations, and professional standards. Ready to simplify your business finances and drive growth? Explore valuable resources, books, and tools designed for entrepreneurs and small businesses at simplenumberscri.com.